Shalom, welcome back to the Sequential Kitvei Ha'Ari series. Chapter 2 is called Seder HaTikkun, the Order of Repair. The chapter begins after shevirat ha-kelim, the breaking of the vessels. The Ari has already shown that the light was not the problem. The light, was holy. The problem was that the kelim, the vessels, were not yet able to hold such intensity. So the question now becomes, how does divine light become receivable? How does the Blessed One repair a world that broke because too much light entered vessels that were not ready? The Ari says that the Ma'adzil Elyon, the Supreme Emanator, saw that these vessels had shattered because of the greatness of the light. They could not endure it, so it arose in His will to repair all the worlds in such a way that they could bear this light. The repair comes through hitpastut haor, the spreading out of the light, and also through distance from the source. Not distance as abandonment, but distance as mercy. The light becomes more covered, more clothed, more measured, and because of this, the worlds can stand. This is one of the great foundations of Kitvei Ha'Ari. Tikkun is not the removal of light. Tikkun is the ordering of light. It is the same divine goodness, but now it comes with garments, levels, and relationships. A light that is too direct can break. A light that is clothed properly can give life. This is why concealment is not always the enemy of holiness. Sometimes concealment is the way compassion enters a vessel. The light does not lose its source. It simply takes on the form needed for a lower world to survive it. In that sense, every true tikkun is both descent and kindness. The light comes down, but it comes down in patient mercy. So the Ari explains that each original nekudot, each point, now becomes a full partzuf. A partzuf is not just a shevirat standing alone. It is a complete configuration. It has structure, relationship, inner balance, and the ability to receive and give in an ordered way. Keter becomes the partzuf called Arich Anpin. Chokmah becomes Abba. Binah becomes Imma. The 6 broken points become Zeir Anpin. And the 10th point, Malchut, becomes the Bat, the daughter, also called Nukva de Zeir Anpin. These 5 partzufim are hinted in the name Yud He Vav He. The Kots Shel Yud, the tip of the Yud, points to Arich Anpin. The Yud itself points to Abba. The first He points to Imma. The Vav points to Zeir Anpin. The final He points to the Bat, Nukva, the feminine receiving presence. So the name itself carries the order of repair, hidden root, wisdom, understanding, extension, and receptive manifestation. Then the Ari asks a very powerful question. If the Blessed One knew that the nekudot would break, why did he not make the 5 partzufim from the beginning? Why create points that would shatter? The answer given here is deep and uncomfortable. It was so there could be behira, real choice, in the hand of the human being. If there were only revealed good, there would be no true struggle, no real reward and punishment, no arena for righteousness. The root of Ra, evil, comes from the manin tevirin, the broken vessels. The root of Tov, good, comes from the great light. This does not mean evil is equal to holiness. It means that after the shattering, the world contains concealment, mixture, and struggle. The Tzaddikim, through good deeds, prayer, mitzvot, and purified intention, raise the nitzotzot ha-kedusha, the holy sparks, from within the klipot. The wicked, through evil deeds, draw more of the great light downward into the klipah, and the klipah itself becomes the strap of correction. In this system, human action matters. What a person does below touches the arrangement of light above. The Ari gives another reason. Before the full Tikkun, the point of Malchut stood in a very high place, at the level that will later correspond to the head of Arich Anpin. Through our tefillot and ma'asim tovim, our prayers and good deeds, there is power to raise her back to that place. So the purpose of the fall is not only punishment, it is also the possibility of ascent. The world is built in such a way that human beings can participate in raising the fallen presence. Now the Ari returns to the order of the 5 partzufim. Because the light is now more distant and more clothed, the repair begins in Arich Anpin. Arich Anpin has 3 reishin, 3 heads. The first is called Reisha Delo Ityada, the head that is not known. The second is called Ayin, nothingness. The third is called Moha Stima'ah, the concealed mind. These 3 stand in relation to Keter, Hokmah, and Bina in a hidden, supernal way. This is language of immense subtlety. Reisha Delot Tiada is not simply something we have not learned yet. It is a level of divine root that remains beyond grasp. Ayin is not emptiness as absence. It is the no thing from which wisdom flashes forth. Moha Stima'ah is mind, but mind concealed within the depth of Arich Anpin. The Ari is showing that even in repair, the highest levels remain hidden. Tikkun does not make mystery disappear. It gives mystery a vessel. The 7 lower aspects of this level, from Hesed to Malchut, are called Atik Yomin. These become the inner soul and nimiyut of Abba and Imma. As they spread within Arich Anpin, 7 tikkunim are formed in the Galgalta, the skull or crown-like head structure. The signs are Galgalta, Tala de Bedulha, Keruma de Avira, Ra'afa de Ra'avin, Amarnaki, Pekiha de Lonaim, and Hotma. These are very deep Idra language, connected also to the 13 tikkunei digna, the repairs of the beard. The point for us here is that repair begins above thought. Before Abba and Imma, before conscious wisdom and understanding, there is a hidden arrangement of mercy in Arich Anpin. The skull, the dew, the membrane, the will of wills, the pure hair, the wakeful eye, and the nose are not physical descriptions. They are symbolic forms for how supernal mercy becomes structured enough to flow downward. After Arich Anpin becomes a complete partzuf, Abba and Imma come forth. The Ari uses the phrase kehada nafkin, kehada syaryan, velo mit parshin le almin. They come out together, they dwell together, and they are not separated forever. Abba and Imma are not like Zeir Anpin and Nukva, where Nukva comes out later from behind. Abba and Imma emerge together. Neither one precedes the other in this birth. They stand panim be panim, face to face. This is the beginning of stable relationship after shattering. In olam ha-nekudot, the points were too isolated. In Tikkun, the partzufim exist in relationship. Abba and Imma represent Hokmah and Bina, wisdom and understanding. Wisdom alone is a flash. Understanding alone is expansion. But when Abba and Imma face each other, the flash and the womb of understanding are united. Insight can become formation. Light can become life. The Ari then gives a very precise structure. From the right arm of Arich Anpin, together with part of the body until the chest, a complete partzuf of Abba is formed. From the left arm of Arich Anpin, together with that same region, a complete partzuf of Imma is formed. The right arm has 3 perakim, 3 joints or sections. From the first section, the hand and fingers come habat of Abba, Hokmah, Bina, and Da'at. From the middle section come Hagat, Hesed, Gevurah, and Tiferet. From the lower section, called the shoulder in this arrangement, come Nehi, Netzach, Hod, and Yesod. The same pattern happens from the left arm for Imma. This means Abba and Imma are not floating ideas. They are built from the limbs of Arich Anpin. Higher mercy gives body to wisdom and understanding. the throat of Arich Anpin becomes two ketarim, one keter for Abba and one keter for Imma. This is connected to the phrase kaneh hokmah, kaneh bina, acquire wisdom, acquire understanding. The Ari reads kaneh also as the throat or windpipe. From the garon, the throat, come the crowns of Abba and Imma. But then something remains uncovered. The lower half of Tiferet of Arich Anpin and the Nehi of Arich Anpin remain exposed without clothing. This is the secret of Mayim Tachtonim Bohim, the lower waters weeping. Their light is too revealed. The light of the arms is covered inside Abba and Imma. But the lower parts are still exposed. The phrase Baruch Kevod Hashem Mi Mekmo hints through its initials to Bohim, they weep. The lower waters cry because they are revealed without proper covering. To repair this, the Ma'adzil causes the Sokayin, the legs of Arich Anpin, to be included within the arms. Nehi enters Kahat. This is called Telat go Telat, 3 within 3. Netzach becomes included in Hesed. Hot becomes included in Gevurah. Yesod, together with the lower half of Tiferet, becomes included in the upper half of Tiferet. The lower is not discarded. It is elevated and folded into the upper. When Nehi rises into Hagat, the lights of the broken vessels rise with them. But not all the light rises. Some nitzotzot ha-kedusha remain inside the broken kelim, giving limited life to the klippah. This is why the lower worlds still contain confusion. There is holiness trapped inside brokenness. The sparks remain, and the work of Tikkun is to lift them. From the lights that rise upward, the existence of Zon begins, Zeir Anpin and Nukva. They come into being through the union of Abba and Imma. Imma becomes pregnant with them in the state called Gimel Kelilan Begimel, 3 included within 3. This is embryonic spiritual life. Before the full expansion of 6 directions, there is a compact state where the lower midot are hidden inside the womb of Imma. Then the Ari describes a hidden arousal of union. When Nehi of Arich Anpin is included in Hagat, the Yesod of Arich Anpin, now included in Tiferet, emits a hevel, a breath. This breath divides into 2 sides. The right side becomes mochin for Abba. The left side becomes mochin for Imma. Because Abba and Imma now have mochin, there is an awakening of zivuk, union between them. But this union is without mayin nukvin, without arousal from below. It is only by Hesed, as the verse says, Olam Hesed Yibaneh, the world is built by kindness. Then the Ari speaks of Neshikin, kisses, and hevelim, breaths. Abba kisses Imma, and Imma kisses Abba. Each draws breath from each other. There are 2 kisses and 2 breaths, and each contains giving and receiving. This language is intimate because the Ari is describing how life emerges from face-to-face connection. It is not mechanical. Creation is relational. Light passes through will, breath, kiss, and speech. There is also dibbur, speech. The Ari says that in Abba there is an added power of speech. Corresponding to 2 kisses, 2 breaths, and 1 speech are the 5 modzaot ha-pe, the 5 outlets of the mouths. From the kisses comes neshama le neshama, soul to soul. From the breaths comes ruah be ruah, spirit with spirit. From the speech comes nefesh. Nefesh is not doubled in the same way, because speech here is one movement from Abba. Finally, the chapter shows how the roots of Zeir Anpin are formed. The kisses bring forth the aspects of the kelim, the vessels of Zeir Anpin. Hesed comes from Abba. Gevurah comes from Imma. Netzach comes from the breath of Abba. Hod comes from the breath of Imma. Tiferet comes from the kisses that are included in one another, because Tiferet blends Hesed and Gevurah and stands as the middle line. Yesod comes from the inclusive breath that gathers the breaths together. Malchut of Zeir Anpin comes from the speech of Abba. This is the secret of the phrase Hashem be-hokmah yasat aretz. Hashem founded the earth through hokmah. By the dibbur of hokmah, the level called eretz, earth, malchut, is formed. And with that, the Ari has shown the root and formation of the 6 ages of Zeir Anpin and the emergence of malchut through speech. The human lesson is very clear. After shattering, repair does not happen by force. It happens by ordered light, covered light, relationship, elevation, inclusion, breath, kiss, and speech. The broken sparks are not ignored. The lower waters are not abandoned. The exposed places are clothed. The fallen lights are lifted. The isolated points become partzufim. And every prayer, every good deed, every act of discipline and love participates in that same Seder HaTikkun, the order of repair. So when a person feels broken, the Ari does not teach despair. He teaches structure. Do not try to hold all the light at once. Let the light be clothed. Let the scattered parts become related. Let the lower be included in the higher. Let wisdom face understanding. Let speech become holy. Let the sparks rise. This is how a world becomes stable. This is how a soul becomes a vessel. This is how Tikkun begins. Shalom.